Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Butterfly Dreams Crochet. My name is Jeannie, and today we are going to be doing a unboxing and a review of the Premier Butterfly yarn. When I got the notification that they had new yarn and it was named Butterfly, y'all know I had to jump on it, right? Wouldn't be me if I didn't. But first, I want to welcome all of my new butterflies. Thank y'all so very much for becoming part of the butterfly family. And I want to thank all of my OGs, butterflies that have been part of my channel from day one or throughout. Thank y'all so very much for sticking with me through my YouTube journey. It's been over a year that I've been on YouTube. So I've made it this far. And I'm going to keep pushing and I'm going to make it, y'all. Okay. So when I first went to Premier's website and I looked at this yarn, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. But one thing I will say, we need to become more of a, we need to look into things a little bit more before we order online, instead of being an impulse buyer. And that's what I did with this yarn. Had I looked into it a little bit more, I would not have bought what I bought of the yarn, but I would have bought it. We're going to actually look at the pros and the cons of this yarn. When I do unboxings from now on, I will be doing a review of the yarn in detail at the same time as I do the unboxing. So that means that I'll never cut a box open on camera, y'all. Because in order for me to do the so-called unboxing and the review, of course, I got to open up the box, right, to get to the yarn. I'm just going to pull Premier's website up on my phone and read to y'all what they say about this yarn. One suggestion that I will make when looking at stuff online, yarn companies online, and you're wanting to place an order, usually if you click on the yarn, underneath it'll have patterns that you can make with the yarn. I highly suggest that you check out those patterns that's been created using the yarn that you're looking at buying. And I don't mean just look at the pattern. Like this is one that they've done for the new yarn that they have now in the Premier Color Fusion. You know, they had the Color Fusion in Chunky, but now they have it in a DK weight. So that's one of the patterns. So don't just look at the picture of the pattern. Actually download the pattern and look at all the details of the pattern. And you'll figure out why. Okay, so I'm going to go to Yarns, Yarn Collection, New Yarns. And I'm going to pull up the butterfly yarn, because that's what we're reviewing today. Now, at first glance, when you pull it up and you look at a swatch worked up, you get this pattern. And you're looking at it like, wow, that is absolutely gorgeous. Then you pull up the yarn and you look at the yarn and you're like, oh, wow. Right? One thing I've noticed about yarn companies online, any swatch that they put up of the yarn worked up is always in knitting. You never see a swatch worked up in crochet. Do I consider that a marketing strategy for the yarn companies? Yes, I do. And the reason being is because if you look at this, you're more likely to buy that versus something worked up in crochet, because with knitting, your yarn goes a lot further. With crochet, it takes more yarn. So with that being said, what they're saying about the Premier Butterfly Anti-Peeling Butterfly Yarn is it has 6 colors. We will see 5 of them today. It's 100% anti-peeling acrylic, which is awesome. Any of Premier's anti-peeling acrylic is super, super soft, whether it's the DK, the worsted, or the chunky. Machine wash warm, tumble dry normal, do not bleach, do not iron, do not dry clean. Each ball of the anti-peeling butterfly features a unique stripe pattern where approximately 2/3 of the cake is one solid color. Now let's talk about that. And I'm going to show you one so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the solid color. So they're saying that this is 2/3 of the cake, which we know 2/3 is 3/4 of a pie. We're going to use the pie. It is 546 yards in that cake. So if I take 546 yards and multiply it by 75%, which is same as 3/4, that would give me a total of 410 yards just in this solid color here. Okay? So now let's see what they say about the stripes. And the remaining third features a 5-color stripe. So if I take 546 and subtract 410 from that, I am left with 136 yards of stripe patterns. Now, I don't have a hank of yarn, a skein of yarn, or a ball of yarn, or anything like that that has 136 yards. But we can compare it to this. This is the Premier Just Yarn Worsted. Now, this is worsted. All of these are number 3s. But this little cake here little skein has 131 yards. So we're still missing 5 yards. But to say that, you get 136 yards of the stripes. You have 5 colors. So now you divide the 136 by 5. Now you only have 27 yards of each color. How far will that go in crochet? We will see. I've actually broke down 2 of my cakes. I've pulled the center, which was the colors in them because they're all caked up different. You'll see that. I pulled the colors out of the middle. I crocheted from one color to the other, to the last color, so we can see how each one plays out. And I also pulled the colors out of another one, and I worked it up on my knitting machine so you can see the difference. So keep that in mind. You only get 136 yards of the color stripes, which gives you about 27 yards of each color, and you're getting 410 yards of the solid color. Okay? Each ball stops and starts at the same point of the stripe pattern. And it says it's taken away the frustration of finding the right spot in the stripe pattern. Little confused on that, and I'll show you why. These cakes are caked up in two styles. They start with the colors in the middle, and the solid is to the outside, or it starts with the solid in the middle, and the colors are on the outside. This is one here that has the solid color in the middle. It has a center pull, which is a plus. Kudos. That's a pro. And we'll get to all the pros and cons. So, all the solid is in the middle. So, I would start with this, unless you work from the outside to get to your colors. I'm going to give y'all different scenarios. So I'm going to be working 410 yards of the solid color before I ever get to the first color. Now if I did that and I wanted to do a blanket, but I wanted it to be striped with the colors that I have here, I now know I have 27 yards of each, approximately 27 yards of each color, based on the calculations of how many yards are in the cake and how much they're saying that this is 2/3, which is 75%, and then you have 25% of 5 colors. So if I wanted to stripe it and not put all of this into the blanket at one time, I would have to work up what part I want from that blanket to be in this color. Then I would either have to color control and come to the outside and cut my colors loose, okay, and then go back to this, or I could simply crack open another cake and I could start with the pink here, and if I didn't have enough in this cake to stripe it as much as I wanted to, I could cut it loose. Then I could go to a third cake and attach it to the pink, because the pink will be the first one there. Okay? Or I could attach it to the ball the cake that I'm working from and get the pink. So again, that statement in Premier's is a little bit confusing, and I failed to mention, but it will be in the description box, I am not affiliated with Premier. I am not sponsored by Premier. This is my complete, honest review and opinion of this yarn. And I am not being compensated for this video, none whatsoever, unless you watch my video and it has ads in it. Hey, that's it. I've had this yarn since last week, but I've been pondering and I've been thinking about it, and this is the review that you're getting. So that statement is a little bit confusing about each ball stops and starts at the same point of the stripe pattern, taking away the frustration of finding the right spot in the stripe pattern. It is true, it does, because every cake starts and stops at the same exact spot. All 3 of these cakes starts with the blue that you see hanging there. Every last one of them. But I still have to color control. What I would have liked to have seen is less than the solid color and more of the stripe. You got 6 colors. You could have did at least 30-something% of each. Not 30%. You could at least did, you could have did 50-50. And it would have been awesome. So with that being said, let's look at all the 5 color choices that I have that I can show you. This one is called Meadow. Now you see it is wound. The solid color starts in the center. Then on the outside is where your colorways start. And you have 5. And this is how it is worked up. Right there. So see, this one starts with the white and then goes to your colors. So it's a lightweight 3, like I said. It is machine wash on warm, tumble dry. You can obtain patterns that people have made with this yarn from premieryarns.com. It's a 4mm knitting needle recommendation and a 4mm crochet hook. You get 546 yards, 500 meters, 7 ounces, or 200 grams. The yarn itself is beautiful. And I always order in 3s from Premier, because they come in a plastic bag, which obviously I've taken out. But all 3 of these start with the solid color in the middle. And on the very outside is the pink. So if you worked from the inside and then you wanted to color stripe it, you would start with the pink. And 27 yards is not going to get you very far in crochet. So that's that color. Then we have one that is called Riverbank. This has to be one of my favorite colors. Again, they all start and stop the exact same way. That is Riverbank. And here's the third one. And this is what that pattern looks like. I would love to see more yarn companies online to do actual crochet swatches for their pictures, so we as crocheters can see what it looks like worked up as crochet. Now this is the one that I took apart 2 cakes. This one is called Wildflowers. Beautiful colors. This is the color pattern. And this is what you're left with when you take it apart. Look at all that solid color. So we've determined that it's roughly 410 yards of a solid color. The next colorway is Blue Skies. Again, it starts with the solid in the middle, and your colors are on the outer edge. Every one of them is the same. Which is definitely a plus. And then the last and another one of my favorite colors is the Dockside. And that's the one that I've been showing. I love these colors. And again, let me pull this down where it hangs to the it's almost like a color of a creamsicle, where you can see that each one starts with that blue. Now let's talk about the pros. The pros is that this yarn is super soft. It is anti-pilling. You get 546 yards of a lightweight 3. That's always a plus. It is machine washable and dryable. And it is $8.99 on Premier's website. And let's see what that is per yard. Roughly about 16 cents per yard. I think it's a good price. It's $8.99, and they did have 10% off of it when I got this. I don't know if that deal is still on. Let's look and see. It is not. So that is a pro. It's anti-pilling. It's super soft. You get 546 yards. It is a beautiful, beautiful yarn. All the colors are beautiful. Yeah, that's about all the pros. Now let's talk about the cons. The cons to me is you don't have enough stripes. yardage in the stripes. You have entirely too much of the solid color. I think it should have been about 50-50. 50% of the solid color and 50% of the stripes, because that would have gave you more of a striping effect. Let's just say we double the stripes. We determine it's about 27 yards per stripe, which is 5. Then that would have gave us roughly about 54 yards of a stripe. So that's definitely a con. Price is zifty, $8.99, but you do get 546 yards, so you just have to weigh your odds. There's not a lot of cons. It's more pros than cons. However, to me, this yarn is not per se for the crocheters versus the knitters, and you'll see why. Now, I worked up, this is the swatch that I did, working one center of this in the colors. Each one starts with the purple right here. See? So this is the purple, and I will count. We get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and a half rows of purple. This is 31 double crochets worked across, and this is all I did was double crochets. Then this is the other color, and you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, about 11 3/4 rows of it. And you see it's split here. Then this would be your next color, and it started there, and you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and about 3/4 of a row on there. But my peach color started right here on the edge, and you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and a half rows of it. And then this was what you get of like the very light peachy color, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, about 12 1/4 of a row of it. So even with that, you don't get the same amount of stripe. And that is crochet. So I thought about it. Now, if I wanted to work a triangle shawl with this, and I wanted this solid color to be my body of the shawl, and I wanted the stripes to be on the very end or in the middle, I would need at least 2 of these. That would give me roughly 820 yards. Because we know our pattern grows bigger. How many of these would I need to work a shawl to get a striped? And I wanted my stripe to be the same color from start to end. I would need at least 2. So again, you have to color control, y'all. You're going to have to cut yarn loose, and you're going to have to put it together. Now, another pro on this yarn is a continuous strand. It is not cut between colors, and you have a knot on neither one. So that is definitely a pro. It is a continuous strand of yarn with the color change, and the color change is immediate. It's not gradual. It is an immediate color change. So that is definitely a pro. So I took the other center out, and I went to my knitting machine. Now again, it starts with the purple right here. And again, you can see here that it switched over to the lighter purple. Then here's the pink looking corally color. And again, it did a solid stripe. Then it went to this peachy color, darker peachy color here, and it did a solid stripe. Then it went here to the light peach, and it did a stripe. And you can see that every stripe is a different size. The two on the ends has the less yarn, less yardage, and the three in the middle have about the same amount of yardage. So you are going to get a better stripe pattern with this yarn if you are a knitter versus a crocheter. It's very soft. It is very stretchy. And this is done with knitting. Still very soft and stretchy with crochet. See that? The yarn is amazing. It was amazing to crochet with. However, it does split. But not bad. But it is a splitter. So, if you are a crocheter and you want to buy this yarn, you will have to be very adventurous with how you do your stripings. Okay? If you are a knitter, you will be fine. You'll still have to color control though. Now, this is a crochet pattern that they did on Premier's website. It's called the Cluster Cardigan. And you can obviously see there in the square that everything was color controlled. That is what it looks like in the back. So you see you don't have a very big square. And it took 2 cakes for a small, extra small to a small. A medium to a large was 4. A 1X to a 2X was 4. And a 3X/5X was 4 cakes. So 2 cakes for extra small. I have not done the pattern. I am not sure that I will because I only have 3 cakes of each one. But why does it take 4 cakes to make a medium and a large compared to a 1X, 2X, or 3X, 5X? Is it because you need more of the solid and not so much as the colors? Or does it take that to get your colors that you need to make your square? It only took 2 for a small to a medium. And each square will be made the same regardless. It'll just be bigger. So, yeah, that's what threw me off with it. Now, this is a knitted baby blanket. And this one took 2 cakes. You can see in the picture that they did color control the stripes of this yarn. And you could do a baby blanket like this where you do your stripes. But again, you're going to have to color control it. If you're a crocheter, you can crochet your stripes on the edge and then do the solid color in the middle. And then come back with the stripes on the edge. Just like they did here in the knitting pattern. So I don't want people to think that they designed this yarn to where you don't have to do color control. Because you still have to do color control. They have a couple of more patterns on there. One is a scarf. Hold on just a second. phone went back too far. They have a kids top-down striped raglan sweater, which is a knitted pattern. And show you how it looks. Again, everything was color controlled. So it's very pretty. So they did not color control it, and you see the stripe right there in the right there at the armpit where it changed over to the light blue. So they just let the colors run. So you get a better stripe pattern with the knitting effect versus the crochet, unless you absolutely color control it. And this is a poncho. And the colors was not color controlled. Now this is a child's poncho. So if you made a child's poncho in a 2 to 4 or 4 to 6, that's the pattern size, then that is the striping effect that you would get, and you can see that it is not color controlled. So you would not get that stripe effect in an adult poncho or a shawl. So check out their patterns and see what you think. And I really recommend that you look at the patterns and stuff that they have when you order it online. See if they have patterns for that yarn already out, and really look at the pattern before you purchase the yarn. Now, I'm not saying don't buy the yarn. The yarn is lovely. It is it's amazing. It's soft. I loved working with it. Just know that this is the stripes that you will get if you're a knitter. And you can see that you obviously get a little more of this colorway than you did the purple at the beginning. And this is what you will get if you are a crocheter and you're using double crochets. Right there. And let's hold them up together. They're about the same width. See? Your yarn always goes further in knit because it does not take as much to knit. But this is the stripe effect that you get when knitting. And this is the crochet effect that you get if you're a crocheter. So y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think. Again, I am not sponsored or an affiliate of Premier. This is my own review of this yarn. Will I buy this yarn again? Probably not. I am going to make something out of it to see how it plays out. It will be a shawl. And I'm going to use these. Then I'll come back to you and I'll let you know more. But right now, these are the swatches. Now, these will not go to waste. I have them to where I can just pull them apart and use them. And I may just end up using these and do the little kids poncho with it. So, just to get these going. And then turn around and do an adult shawl with these. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this. And what you think about this yarn. Now again, the pros outweigh the cons. But you still got to work with the yarn in order to use it. Because you're still going to have to color control. So that means you're going to have to take them apart. Sorry. Sorry, Charlie. But the good thing about it is, if you work from the outside of a cake that has the solid color and you go all the way to the stripe, once you get to the end of the last stripe, you can just get another cake. Okay, I'm going to work with this from this part out to the inside. Now, once I get here, I can just pick this cake up, attach it to it, and move forward. But I will have a longer stripe with this color than I would any other color. So again, if you want your stripe pattern to be the same, you're going to have to color control. I'm sorry. So that means that if you work from the outside in, when you get here to your first color stripe, you're going to have to pull the insides out of another cake to get to it. So, and you'll have a little of each one left over in crochet, because you see how it changes the colors in the middle. Now the pink only changed here, then when it got here, it went straight to this, but then there's another change right here. So you'll always have a little waste yarn, depending on the stitch that you use and what you're making. Alright guys, y'all let me know what y'all think down below. I hope you really like this review. Again, check out Premier website at premieryarns.com. And anytime you're ordering yarn online, I always look to see if they have patterns, and pull up the patterns and look at the patterns. And do a little more research on their website about the yarn and stuff before you buy. Don't be like me and be an impulse buyer. Of course, I was going to get it because it says butterfly. And I love the colors in that one. They're fall-y colors. Alright, I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Remember to be kind to one another and smile. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.